All right, well, welcome to the Dev Mentor Hour. We only have one more of these left this afternoon. Things are getting close to getting wrapped up. And so it's an exciting time. I know a lot of y'all are working hard on your core projects. So anyone who wants to go ahead and ask a question or share their screen, or even just update us on how things are going, maybe even show what they have so far for free, just go ahead and raise your hand and I'll give you the ability to speak.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, hi. So listen, I'm in the beginners class and I try to work through all the challenges so far, so I haven't had really a look at the core project. However, I just downloaded SAP's example and I just can't bring it to work. I already connected with Nila because she seemed to have the same problem. I tried all the things that she did with her together. I just can't make it work. So I would really appreciate some help to get it up and running so I can then wrap my head around how to tweak in little personal bits and bytes that I want you guys to see.
Of course. So first off, I just want to know, like, how far did you get? Like, did you get it, all the files that you need in the right place? You just haven't been able to deploy locally?
Yeah, that's where I also raised an issue on the bootcamp discussion forum where I put it in a print screen, but I'm happy to share my screen. Maybe it's just a minor thing I just oversee, but it keeps getting me back with the let me see what it says.
So if you take a look at the chat, I just shared the command, which is dfx deploy, that's arguments, and then the candid interface command for supplying 2 bits of text. Motoko Bootcamp. Yeah. Are you using that command, or are you just doing dfx deploy? Because the way that this current project's, so go on.
Sorry, I just used the dfx deploy only, and so it gave me back error, invalid data, expected arguments, but found none.
Yeah, so if you look at the code, that actor is a little bit different. It requires arguments, just like a function would. So just like when you call a function, then you have to supply an argument if the function is expecting it. It's the same thing for deploying this actor. So like in this example I shared, it's for diplomas. It would have, well, I mean, and you can still, I made you a panelist so you can share your screen if you need to, and we can kind of show you where that is.
Yeah, that would be nice. Oh, just give me a second. I need to allow Zoom to share on my Mac. Apparently that's a thing.
That works. Yeah, and for the beginners out there, you really just need to add 2 features. You need to have a login and then have some way to share your like an image of what's being made. And you can talk a little bit about those components. I know a lot of beginners are going to struggle with them, but okay, yeah, we can see your screen. Looks good.
Okay, perfect. So this is I only did just really copied it into my directory. I downloaded it into my directory. That's just aim structure as it's on the Motoko Bootcamp stuff. So again, here, that's the error I get.
Okay, well, let's try making that command that we just made, and let's see what happens. You can type it out here. I'll go. It's dfx.
Yeah.
Deploy. Dash argument is 2 dashes.
Yeah.
And by the way, just for helpfulness, let's go back. Take the word argument away and just type the word help. So just do dash help. Sorry. All right, so this is really, really useful. And you can scroll up a little bit and see like some of the output here. So this is like how would you on earth know to do dash argument? Well, this is how you would know, because you can just for about anything in here, you can do dash help, and it'll tell you like these are the options you can add to that command. So okay. Next time you see an error expecting something, you know, the first step to troubleshoot would do like dash help and then look for that word, whatever that something is. Just some helpful info. Yeah, if you're not used to using a terminal, it's most people. All right, so yeah, go back and type dfx deploy dash argument. And then we have to enter it in just like you would enter a function that takes 2 text inputs. So you've got the single quotation and the opening parentheses. And then the double quotation and the first bit of text, which just, you know, you type in anything, maybe the word example, I don't know. Yeah. And then you close it and then you have the same again. Exactly. And that's just do capital TST, maybe, I don't know. That's supposed to be like the symbol, like one's the name and one's the symbol. And then close all that out. Like close the, yeah. Perfect. And then hit enter and hopefully that'll work. Awesome. So apparently it worked. So wait a minute, I need to find that thingy. Yeah, the little, to find the, it's a little bit lower. Yeah, but this one. I know, but I want to just quickly syntax of it. Yeah, I have Notepad open and I have this paste and stuff that I want to keep track of, like commands, useful commands and stuff like that. So on this example, just, if you go to Motoko main.ml, or no, wait, it's index.js. If you go to index.js. All right, so see how it imports Minter in the very top up there? Yeah. So okay. So it's already importing like kind of like from the declarations, which is auto-generated, it's deploying like an actor. You need to, when you add authentication, you basically need to create an actor with the agent of the wallet. I recommend Plug. They have really good documentation and it should be pretty easy to integrate. There's also a lot of great examples for internet identity. So it's up to you. We actually shared, I think, a really good example for internet identity that has like almost nothing on it except for the authentication workflow. So like when I first took a crack at it, I got the principle on the front end, but I didn't create an actor that had that agent attached to it because I wasn't understanding how it all worked properly. But so that's one of the aspects of this example that you'll need to change. And then to display the NFTs, I'm not sure if that's as important for the beginner area. Seb can talk more about that, but Seb, are they going to need to create endpoints for their NFTs other than just sharing a URI? I mean, I would imagine so, I guess, right? So they need an HTTP type and know how to
Well, I don't think we want that for beginners. I mean, if they do it, congratulations, but probably not. Yeah, it's not that difficult, I guess, but you still need to learn like what is an HTTP request and how to parse the token ID. Well, I don't think it's the priority. If they have nothing else to do, they can do it. But I mean,
so what's the bare minimum then, Seb, that we should tell them? So is it just creating authentication, logging in, and minting?
Yeah, I would say it's the minimum, and it's already quite huge, I think. Everything I recommend Plug as well. The documentation is really well done. It's not easy though. I heard Isaac told you it's easy. I don't think it's easy. If you are a beginner, it's going to be complicated, but it's possible because the documentation is really complete and you have all the steps. So take your time and like try to understand each step, and you should be able to do it. So yeah, I would say the bare minimum is to have a button. When you click it, it opens the wallet and it authenticates you. So you can connect with your Plug wallet, and then you can click on mint, and you don't need to basically print your principal because the mint will happen for your address. Like the color, you will be detected as the color, so the mint will be done for you. Yeah.
Yeah, and okay, so as far as endpoints are concerned, if you know how to do that on the front end, you could just have an assets folder with different SVGs already in there. And then they could basically have a couple options. They select one, and you know, like that will be the URI, basically. So I don't know. I guess that wouldn't be able to have unique URIs for minting, but you know, it could just use the example as it does now, where it just I guess takes any URI from anywhere. I mean, really, what it's doing now is just taking any string from anywhere. So it gives in the code, it doesn't even have to be a URI, but yeah. So I'm not sure you have to really worry that much in that case about artwork or anything. Making an endpoint isn't too bad though. If you're an intermediate, maybe you have a little bit of experience. I mean, I just copy, I use examples. So there's a lot of examples out there that you can find on GitHub. Like basically checking out, if you go to our GitHub and look at the dev mentors and like go to their repos, you'll find a lot of great stuff that you can steal inspiration from.
Okay. So for my question that deployed now fine. So how do I and that's maybe you explained that already, and then you're just please point me out to the video where I can look it up because I'm
how do you see it?
How do I see what I did?
Okay.
So just open the host, the host 8, the local host 8000 stuff, or
yeah. So in this case, it's the same thing.
Okay, good.
And you just copy and paste the asset canister, and just like you did with your Hello project, and deploy is also the same. So all of that should everything that you did for the Hello project should carry over. It's just that the deploy takes arguments this time.
Okay. Good. Did I try that later?
All right, sounds good. No problem. All right. Anybody else have any questions?
Yeah, hey. If that would be okay for you, would you be would you mind to go through the challenge 2 so that I can see where, yeah, how a little bit more how HashMap works, because I watched the video, I understand the principle, but when I tried to do the challenges, I understood it was difficult to connect both.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead, Seb. That'll be you, Mr. Challenge guy. And Mr. Oh, the challenges will get easier.
Yeah, yeah, sorry for that. Okay, let me share my screen.
Seb, do you have your mic mute or you don't speak?
Yeah, Seb's on mute.
Yeah, sorry, I was on mute. I was mute. Okay. Yeah. So what I've told is that you have to import the module HashMap. I think it's explained in the daily guide as well.
Yeah,
and then you need to grab the HashMap type. So actually, it's what we call a class. A class is just a type with functions on it. So you can do hashmap.put, hashmap.get. All those functions are defined in the module HashMap. But yeah, so you just import it like that, hashmap.hashmap, and then you need to specify the keys, the key and the value. So the key, the type of the key and the type of the value. Usually you will see a generic type K and V for key and value, but here we want principal to not. Yes. So let's do it that way. And then you need to create it actually. So like that, principal.not. You have 3 arguments. Let me just find the document. So the first argument, the first argument is the capacity initial. So you can put 0. The HashMap will grow automatically as you need it. And the second argument is a function that should takes 2 key and returns true if the key are equals. This is to basically avoid having like multiple keys that are the same. Yeah. So this is. Oops. This is necessary for creating the HashMap. You need to So the key here are principles. So we want a function that takes two principles and returns true if the principles are equal. And we find that inside the principal module. So yes, let me again find it in documentation. So you have principal.equal, which takes x and y of type principal and return a bool, x equal y. So that's our second argument. X principal.equal. And then the last one is a function that takes a key and returns a hash. So we've talked about hash yesterday, I think. I think I've put a link to a video explaining what is a hash because it's a really important concept.
Yeah.
And also, I think I've put a link to like the more in-depth explanation of like how the hash map work internally. That's not like for the challenges, you just need to use it. You don't need to care about like how the hash map works, but it's interesting to like understand why those parameters are needed. Yeah, and you can only understand like why do we need this function, why do we need this function if you understand like how the hash map works. But for today it was provided, so the function were provided. And yeah, so that's principal.hash, which is again, it's a function in the principal module, which is here, and takes a principal and return a hash. So hash is just a value. Well, I strongly encourage you to watch the video on what is a hash. And that's it. We have instantiate our hash map. Yeah, I hope it answered the question.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I thought it was more complicated than that, but yeah. Okay, it was only the first line then. Okay.
And you can also remove this part. I mean, it's the type. So I like specifying the type. I think it adds more clarity, but you can just do that as well.
Because Motoko knows the type.
Yeah, exactly. He knows it.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much.
Isaac, can you allow Douglas to speak? I cannot do it right now.
Yeah, sorry, I was finding someone in chat. Douglas, go ahead.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. Seb, I have a problem that I can't get solved and I can't get past it. I'm trying to look up the Canvas UI of an already existing canister that's deployed. I can do it locally. I can open up the UI on the canister locally, but I can't connect to it. I must be getting the arguments wrong or something. But I was wondering if you could just kind of show the format for doing that and open up. Like, can you open up the candid UI for the ledger canister? You can do that, can't you?
Yeah, I think I can do that. Let me find it. So you need to search for the Candid UI. I don't know the, wait. Let me find the,
So you just find it in your local DFX, right?
I don't want the local one. I want the one on the internet computer. I don't remember the address.
Yeah, I'll give you one second.
I did
Yeah,
just today.
yeah, this is the link. I'll just paste.
Okay, thanks. Okay, so this is the address. It has been shared in the chat of the Candid UI of the internet computer, and you just need to provide the canister ID. So you don't have access to all canisters. Basically, if the canister was written in Motoko, you have access to the Candid interface because it's auto-generated. If the Candid was, if the canister was written in Rust, it depends if the developer has provided the Candid file. So for example, I don't think you can access the interface of Discover. I've tried and I didn't find it. I think you cannot. But for the ledger, I think it's possible. So we just need to go there. Here you have like the canisters of the NNS. We have the ledger. Well, we have the principle of the canister. So let's try it. Okay, it doesn't seem to work for this this canister. Yeah, sometimes you get this error. In that case, you can go to ic.rocks. Sometimes you also have the interface. So here you have the Candid file of the ledger canister. And you can, if it works, no, it doesn't work today. Yeah, sometimes it works and you can directly access the interface. Also, there is a website called Penlista, which sometimes work better. It also provides a way to like search for interfaces. Ledger Candid.
I have the canister that the ID for the canister. If you want to try that, I've got the.
Yeah, you can send it.
Yes. Can I just?
What is the?
This is a very simple one with an increment and a get method. If you want to check that out.
I'm sorry, I didn't get that.
Okay, cool. So that's
okay. Thank you. Thank you.
A canister like provided by Cycat. Yeah, thanks. Oh. Okay. So there is a question, how can I deploy a Rust canister? I'm not sure about that. I think we have Nima today, if he's still there. I think he can answer this question better than me.
So this Candid UI that you're currently looking at is the backend canister for the front end that I just pasted in. So we basically deployed a simple website on the IC. This is the backend canister, and the corresponding front end canister link is in the chat. If you just want to play with it.
I'm not seeing it.
So can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. About deploying your Rust canister, it sounds very different from deploying your Motoko canister. You just write your canister and add it to the dfx.json file and try to deploy it using the dfx deploy and the name of the canister. It's not actually very much different.
Yeah, for the person asking the question, there is also a Rust section on the Definity website, and I think you have like there are like small differences in the dfx.json. You need to specify the Candid file, the type is Rust, and a few other things.
No, not really. I mean, the documentation that Definity has provided us with is actually a little bit outdated. I can safely say that. If you want to deploy a Rust canister and try to write a Rust canister, you better use open source Rust canisters as an inspiration, because the structure of the dfx.json file for Rust canisters is a little bit different than what you can see in the documentation. For example, the type shouldn't be Rust, it should be WASM, and you will manually locate the WASM and try to tell Definity where exactly the WASM is located at. So yeah, exactly. You see the type is custom. You have a WASM field that is the location of the WASM file, and you locate the candid, and there is a build command. So the build.js script is actually a script that we have written ourselves, so you can use that too.
Right, nice.
Does the current documentation which shows the Rust type, is that like, does that not work at all, or is it simply outdated?
Well, one of the problems that I have with Definity is the fact that their documentations aren't exactly the best, at least not the best that they can be. So if you use the type Rust, you're not exactly pointing to the WASM. When you point to the WASM, you're pointing to the optimized WASM if you do it manually. So there is a tool that is IC Optimizer. I don't remember exactly the name, but you try to optimize your WASM using that. It reduces the file size and compresses it. So if you try to set a type to custom, yes, ICCDK optimizer, you will try to point optimized version of the WASM.
Another quick question. So the CDK optimizer reduces size even for, so let's say I have a Rust code base that I'm building. If I build it under the release flag, I think it already optimizes some things on its end. So this CDK optimizer will further reduce the file size, or it is basically doing the same thing under the covers? Any idea?
Well, technically with the newest version of DFX, the documentation said that DFX is calling ICCDK optimizer automatically now, so you don't have to actually call it or try to use the build.js script that we have written. But as we try to use that, we found out that simply doesn't work. I don't know why they said that in the documentation, but it might be a feature that you're going to use in the future. But right now, if you try to use it, you will see that the WASM that you get is not exactly optimized. So a little bit a fun experience that you can do is to try to generate the WASM with the release flag, and then generate the WASM with the ICCDK optimizer, and you will see that there is a size difference and everything like that.
Got it.
Yeah, I think I don't think I will do it right now. Maybe I was thinking to create a new project, but I don't know how long it is to compare that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fun project that the participants can try on their own, but it is exactly as fun as one might think it is.
Yeah, okay. I was thinking to do it right now, but okay. Yeah, thanks.
Hey, Neela, if you're still having trouble and seeing the example project on your local machine and you've used that URL format, raise your hand and I can let you share your screen if you want to troubleshoot. In the meantime, let's go to Abraham.
All right. Yeah. Thank you so much. I have a question.
1 second. I just muted you real quick, Abraham. You've got an audio loop there, so.
Just log out from one of the devices. I think it's getting into feedback loop.
Yeah. All right, you can try again, Abraham, if you're ready.
Okay, can you hear me now, sir?
Perfect.
Okay, so I was having issues with the Servet. I think this question goes to Mr. Sekel or Seg. So I tried connecting to full instruction he gave on that Svelte, Velt, and I got to an extent where I have to set up everything, but I got confused where to directly communicate with my Motoko candid file. From the example he gave, he used the counter example, but then I tried to use the Motoko Minter, the core project stuff. Then I got stuck. I didn't know where to pass what I'm supposed to pass, like the plug wallet stuff and the rest of them. So I got confused because there are lots of kind of JS files or maybe Velt files where you can pass your commands or instructions. So I'm just confused on a particular file that I'm supposed to be working on. And that's why I said, let me ask if it's going to be good to maybe to share my screen for him to point one out for me, then I can actually work with that.
Okay, go ahead and share your screen. Just to clarify, so you're trying to deploy the simple canister application that I demonstrated, or you're trying to add more functionality to it?
Okay. All right. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen now. Let me share the entire screen though.
Okay.
I think he's muted now.
Yeah, I think Abraham is muted.
Okay. Yeah. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
So what is the current problem that you're having?
So the problem I'm having is I have this control. Let me expand this page so that you can see what I mean. So I have this file in the lib folder, in the lib directory. Then I have this app.vet, and I'm seeing this main.js. I got confused on the particular one to work with. So I have to like post my HTML interface code inside here, but then I'm just confused. The particular the file that's gonna communicate directly with what I have inside this place. So I don't know the particular one I should be working. Is it the app.vet or this particular one I created here .vet, or I should work directly?
So just to right, Abraham. So just to clarify, so do you know the Svelte templating language, or are you trying this for the first time?
Yeah, this is my first time. I actually like it because I wanted to make the UI of the the core project to kind of look somehow beautiful, but so I tried to do something that's gonna help me to make it look nice.
Right. So the thing is, for the Svelte demonstration that I had done, I just wanted to show that you can use any front-end framework that you want. However, if you're just starting out, I would not suggest to start with Svelte, because then you need to learn Svelte first. But otherwise, all these paradigms won't make sense to you, right? So currently, what I would suggest is just use plain CSS, JavaScript, and HTML instead of starting off with Svelte. Once you go ahead and learn Svelte, then you can use Svelte. However, the flow that I showed, I just wanted to show that using something like a Vite as your bundler tool, you can use any front end. So a lot of people I know are aware of something called React. So React is also another front-end framework, component framework, which lets you write your, basically organize your code in terms of components for your front end. Right? So, and there are many more. There's something called Vue, there's something called Lit, and a bunch of others. So I just wanted to showcase that, but I would suggest, like, if you're just starting out as a beginner, start with pure HTML, CSS, JavaScript, understand how things interact with each other, and then understand like what is the benefit of using a component framework on top of it. And then you can try out a few and choose the one that you like the most.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So I'll just go
And
back to
like
normal.
the other thing, so yeah, the other thing that you mentioned was you wanted to make it look good, hence you use Svelte. So Svelte is not the contributor to the making it look good part. So that is where CSS comes in, and then you have many meta frameworks on top of CSS. So you have Bootstrap, you have Material UI, and so on and so forth.
Okay, yes. I
Right,
was
so
actually able, I'm actually able to pass this HTML stuff there, but I got the point. I got the point because of the syntax. I don't even know how to, but I was able to. This HTML stuff was able to pass to the web page, and but it's just the controls. But from what you said, I think I need to go back to the Motoko default one from the Definity canister. I think I need to work with that for now.
So
All
you
right.
can even use Beat for the default one, right? So if you try the steps that I had tried, you'll notice when you do npm init, I think it was Wheat at next or something like that. I think it was npm init Wheat app or something like that. Once you run that, it will prompt you and ask you like which framework you want to use. There's something called vanilla over there. So if you choose vanilla,
Yes,
that will let you have simple HTML, CSS, JavaScript. There won't be any front-end framework applied.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Thank you. I'll be discarding it. Let me use the normal one, the recommended one outside this. Thank you so much.
So Abraham, a couple other things. Over in chat, I just shared the URL to Tailwind CSS, which is probably what you're looking for. Super easy to use for beginners. You literally just add some classes to your HTML and bam, it starts to look real pretty. So yeah, you don't need the complexity of a framework. Frameworks are better if you're doing like more complex dapps. They're going to have all kinds of components. Now, I think what you're trying to ask earlier though is the IDL factory. Because you said you're trying to work with authentication and you were looking for what files. So if it would be under make controls.svelte where you're importing all that stuff into the main JS files. Yeah, those other main files can get confusing when the framework. It's mint controls.svelte. That's the one that you were on first, I think.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you so much.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Oh my God. Okay, let me stop sharing my screen.
Sure. I think Seb, there was somebody, I think Ravi Teja asked about challenges 6, 7, and 10. Maybe we want to quickly cover those.
Yeah, so challenge 6 and 7. Challenge 10, I don't want to go into. It's more of a free challenge. I mean, there is no like one solution. It's you need to use everything that you've seen before and trying to make a CRUD canister. So we've seen what is a CRUD canister before. And yeah, you need to use hash map and cycles and everything. But I can go through challenge 6 and 7.
Sure.
So let me go. I think it's going to be complicated to answer the challenge 7 in the playground. Yeah, so I've just imported the cycle API. So let's go into the documentation again. So experimental cycles, probably in the future, it will be integrated with the Motoko language natively. So this is likely to change. So let's say we want first to, so balance, I think it's quite easy. You just use this this function. Let's say we want to check let available. So it will return the amount of cycle that is available on the current message. Okay. So let's first try that. What I've done. So I don't know how it's going to work in the playground exactly, because I don't know like the environment and the cycles they setup they've choose, but we'll see that.
I remember hearing somewhere that they had disabled a bunch of cycles,
Yeah,
like transfer
probably.
features of the Motoko playground. So you might not
Yeah,
get the
for
expected
sure.
result.
Yeah, it's not going to work in the playground because for sure, if they let it, would have been a problem for them. They would probably have been cycle drain. So yeah, if they let it and people try to send cycles to their canister, it would be an easy hack. So for function 6, what you need to do is you need to use the accept function. So for that, you need to use the available amount on the message. So let's say we have, I don't know, it's here we could have like 10,000 cycle. It's not a lot, but, and then we can do something like accept. So cycle.accept let received equals cycle.accept available. And then we can just return the received. That's how you would deposit cycle inside a canister. So each message has a number of cycles on it. That's how you check the numbers of cycles on the message. And then you can accept the cycles. So take from the message to your canister with this command. You need to provide the amount. So we have specified the amount here. And then we can check, maybe we can do something like this, just to verify that we have get all the cycles. And then we can return the amount that we've received. The second function, withdraw cycles, it's a bit more complex. You need to basically use the add function. So withdraw cycles, you need to use two canisters. You have a canister that sends a message to this canister, and here you have like this function withdraw cycles. So this add function from the cycle library indicate additional. Let me read it again. Indicates additional amount of cycles to be transferred in the next call. Okay, so this is a way for the canister to, when he receives a message, he can add canister cycles to the message. So the goal here is to basically get the message. It's to basically do something like this, cycles.add n. And then basically you have another canister with an endpoint, deposit cycles, and you put all the cycles inside. You deposit cycles, but wait deposit cycle of like other canister. That's the idea. I can do it right now, but this is something like that. And also, if you want some more help, you can I think you have something here. Managing cycles. It's a documentation from the Definity Foundation, and you have like a lot of examples here, and one of them is really close to what I'm asking, so you can probably find your way with that. I will send it in the chat. We are always getting available at 0. Yeah, sorry, it's my bad. I should have indicated that for that you need to, you need to play it with real canisters, because on the playground it's deactivated, and on locally, I'm not sure exactly like how cycles work. There is like a simulation, like the cycles are simulated. There is a cycle wallet, but I'm not sure how it works exactly. And yeah, so I would recommend trying locally, but if it doesn't work, move to like the IC. Yeah, and again, I think I've already told it, but challenge 7, don't spend too much time on it. It's yeah, it's hard. Well, it's not really hard, but it doesn't have a lot of impact on your core project. It's just to play with cycles.
All right, Jay. Jay, you're on mute. Anybody else have a question?
Yes, there is a question in the chat. How do I import the bootcamp ledger into my canister to make the send FX call from main.mo? I'm not sure what you're trying to do, but the bootcamp ledger, I don't. Well, I haven't worked on the bootcamp ledger, so maybe I'm wrong. But I'm not sure the interface has a send FX method. I thought it was like a DIP 20 implementation. Well. Anyway, I'll try to answer the question. I can't.
Yeah, in terms of communicating with the token, some people had questions about how to make a call to another canister. For the purpose. Yeah.
This is explained in the guide number 6. I've just released it like a few hours ago. So there is a section on intercanister call, and you can check there if you want to make intercanister calls. And also I've provided some links to the Definity website.
Awesome.
Yeah, invalid data expected arguments. We have already covered this issue. It's if you want to deploy the minter, you need to specify arguments, because if you look at the canister code, it's expecting arguments. So you need to write something like that.
Yeah, I went and updated the documentation to reflect that.
Yeah. Oh, someone already sent it. Thanks. Maybe stupid question. No, this is not a stupid question at all. If you want to use different keys than principal, you can do it, but you need to find the corresponding principal.equal in principal.hash. So for instance, you can do it with a nat. You have nat.equal, and you have nat. You don't have nat.hash, but you have, I think you have well, I think you have somewhere. Well, a hash is a nat32, so I think if you just convert the nat to nat32, it would work.
I don't think you need to convert also. I think if you just use the hash method, you should be able to do it.
Oh, okay. And also you can use text as well. Or you can even use your custom key, but in that case, you need to create the function, specify the functions. Yeah, text.hash.
So if you just show the hash.hash function, there's a hash.
Oh yeah, it takes
this basically takes in on that.
Nice.
So the thing to understand with the hash map is basically it is expecting those 4 arguments. Now those maybe Seb can just quickly show the 4 arguments. So what it is expecting is you need to pass it the initial capacity. So basically initially how big it should be, and the thing about choosing this is basically the lower it you make it and the more elements you need to add, the garbage collector will have to work more, because every time it increases the every time it exceeds the capacity, it needs to reallocate twice the amount of items again and again. So basically you try and choose a number which is closer to what you expect the stable size of this to be. The second is how do you compare between 2 things. So essentially when you pass your existing hash map a particular key to search for, how do you compare it, how do you compare the past key to the existing key in the hash map. The third thing that you need to pass is the key hash. So basically this is like a function which lets the hash map convert the past key into a hash so that it can search inside its hash of dictionary. So basically when you create a hash map, what it does is it takes all your keys and it converts them into a hash representation, so that when you pass it a new key to search, it can do a very quick instantaneous search using the past key, turn it into a hash, and then compare it in its dictionary of hashes to find the one that if it is present, or return null in case it is not found. So hence you need to define these things. Now the thing is, in certain cases, like let's say the principal library provides you the equality function and the hashing function. In case they don't exist and you're working with a complex data type where it has its own unique method of determining the equality and hashing, you can just write those functions yourself. But that is like the lowdown of what needs to be done.
Awesome. Well, unless anybody has any urgent questions, last call, last chance, because we're at an hour now, so we can wrap this up. All right, we got Douglas, last minute question here.
Hey, sorry to be a pain in the butt, but for the way I learn is I'm going to need to kind of do it my way. I don't do good with worksheets, never have. So I didn't make much progress there reading. I'm an old fan of the Lisp REPL, and I'd like to see how to install the IC REPL. And then I also put the ID of the canister I'm trying to get the Canid UI for. So until I learn how to do that, I'm not going to go too much further. So I appreciate the time. Thank you.
Seb, Nima, do y'all have anything to add there?
Nothing much. So I think the main motive of this entire bootcamp was for you to be able to learn. So whatever ultimately gets like you the help for you to be able to learn, you're absolutely fine with that.
I'm not sure I understood.
The
Yeah,
question, one of the speakers, one of the lectures we went to, it's something fairly new. I cloned the repo. It's the IC REPL, and it basically gives you an interpreter. You probably could have done those playground examples right in the interpreter and seen exactly. It's a great way to learn. You put it in the REPL and it tells you exactly what it's doing, and you change it and it redoes it. It's really, really nice feature, beautiful feature.
Are you talking about the TypeScript, JavaScript, or TypeScript?
No. This is Motoko. It's in the Dfinity repo somewhere. It's called IC-REPL. It sounded like it was fairly new, and it's got an install script, and it's got build RS, and I've got Rust all installed, so it's not a problem for me, but I couldn't get it to install. There wasn't a real good README on how to install it. I tried the cargo run build script, build RS, and that didn't seem to do it. And I built
so
Rust
you
pack.
get so the Motoko playground is there for that reason, because not everybody will have the technical know-how to set up Rust on their system and then figure out how to install IC REPL and then troubleshoot if they get stuck. So we have the Motoko playground, so that you can just point your browser to an address and you can type out Motoko and have it deploy everything for you, and then you just get the pretty printed results. But if you want to learn it the proper way, then instead of even relying on the IC REPL, I would suggest directly type out Motoko code in your code editor and then use dfx.json and dfx.start to actually run it in your local replica. There's no better way to learn, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing for the core projects. I haven't used the playground.
Could you try again to see if you could get the candid UI on that canister ID I put in chat? That's a canister that it's an old Hazel NFT minting canister when she first did it 6 months ago, and I've got 2 of those already stocked with NFTs that I've been playing with, and that's what I was trying to do for my project, was trying to do either a hub for those 2 things or a front end or something, but I can't even get started. You see the canister idea, don't you?
So it's L. Wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one. LYN.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. If you could show me a DFX command, I would pull that up. And I'm trying to do that in the playground too, because that's what I really like to work on it too.
The interface, content interface I get with the canister ID. So it seems
how did you do? What's that first? A4 GP. How did you get to that screen?
It's the
right there.
It's the Candid UI. We shared it earlier. It's the Candid UI on the internet computer. So it's the.
I'm not understanding what is it? I'm not understanding you.
Okay, so.
Sounds like French.
So let's well.
It's when you create, built in, right?
Yeah, it's built into the internet computer. So when you create a project, you have the Candid UI. You can go to your local Candid UI. It's local to the replica, Candid, yeah. And then you have this one, which is the one on the internet computer. And I just copy and paste the canister ID, and then I go.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. I still don't understand I'm sorry, but I still don't understand where you're getting that first .app
This one?
ID.
Oh, you just
Yeah, where are you getting that?
I don't remember where I found it. Well, I found it. It's basically.
Could you just kind of share that from this on the chat, then I can grab it.
Yeah, I've shared it.
That's what I've been looking for about 3 days.
Oh, you could have created a post on the Definity forum as well.
Yeah, I tried quite a bit.
All right. So what was the question with the IC REPL? I'm not sure to understand this one.
How to install it.
I've never done it, so I don't know. I've been using the Motoko compiler. You can use the Motoko compiler if you want to. It's so can you see my screen right now?
Yeah.
So you have the defx, well, defx cache, which is basically what defx is using under the hood. And defx cache show will print the path to the Motoko compiler. And if you do something like this, well, it gets the Motoko compiler. You can.
So you can put commands in there.
Yeah, you have a lot of, like, you can generate the candid file. I think you can generate you can directly interpret the program. So if you want to run some tests without like deploying, it's really...
I think it also has an interactive mode. Just type out the above without the help and with a -i. Try that.
Yeah.
So,
yep. So this is the level that we were looking for.
So on the Definity docs was a link to the candid GitHub, and on the GitHub they have this links to the UI and a few other tools that you might find useful. There's like 3 others. I just linked that repo in the chat as well.
Thank you. While I got the mic, I'd like to.
Sorry, go on,
ahead.
Douglas.
I just wanted to take the time too to thank everybody. You guys did a great job. A lot of work. You guys got to be exhausted. I know I am.
Yeah, I'm pretty tired. I think 7 and I are gonna sleep for a few days after this is over.
Yeah, actually, maybe guys noticed it, but yesterday afternoon I wasn't really active. I was taking a big nap.
Yeah.
But we're fine, and it's really cool. Thank you.
It's a pleasure. All right. Well, hey, that's the time for today. But please go ahead and join us. Well, you know what? It's one of the last ones. Andres, you can ask.
Oh my God, you saved me.
Yeah.
Okay, so I basically have the ledger.mo file that has the types and the methods. It has this type called self that I instantiate on my code with pointing to the canister, the ledger canister, right? But when I try to call a function, I get this very weird error, sending capability required but not available, and I really have no clue.
Yeah. So you're probably trying to call a canister in a function that is not async. So you need to basically await for the answer of the other canister. So you need to use an async function. You cannot do it if you are trying to do it with a function that should return instantly. I would like to see your code though, but it's probably the reason.
No, I'm actually using a wait, and I need this and an async function.
Yeah, but what's the top function you're trying to call?
What's the function I'm trying to call?
Yeah, so not the function you're trying to call, but you're trying to make a call inside a function. I want to know what is the top function.
It's just a public shared function. And
oh, okay.
It expects an async type,
Okay, so in that case, it's strange. Let me Can you show your screen maybe?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, 1 second. This would be a button to join as a panelist. You might need to. There you go.
Oh yeah, I'm a panelist now. Okay, let me show you. You seeing it?
Yeah.
Perfect.
So I have like the ledger canister that mode, right? And I called it, like this, which is like the code that Motoko Bootcamp, the Motoko Playground use. And like when I try to call like the transfer fee function, that it's a query function that just returns, what the transfer fee is. I get this like really weird error. I have no clue why. And the error is on this line though. Like it's on this line, not here. It's here.
Can you put a semicolon after line 60?
Yeah.
Maybe can you try again?
It's always something like that, is.
I don't think it's this. I mean, no, it's not. It's not. I still get the error.
Okay, what is the error message?
0047. Let me send you a screenshot. On the general, I'm gonna send a screenshot on the general channel. It's very weird. I have no clue. I mean, I'm trying to solve it, but I just really don't know.
Are you sharing the message? I cannot see it.
Oh, it's on the general on Discord. If you want me to share on the screen. There you can see it.
Yeah, I've seen it. Okay. Okay, maybe go back into the code.
Okay.
Oh, you're trying to call the function line 66. It wouldn't work like that. The function amount fee is okay, but you cannot declare a variable let amount paid minus amount fee. It wouldn't work like that.
Okay. How will it work?
Well, when the canister is instantiate, I mean, I'm not even sure you can wait for the amount fee. I don't think you can do that. Well, can you go back line 60?
Yeah.
So the function from line 59 to line 64 is working perfectly, but it's a nesting function. So if you want to use it, you need to await. All right. So usually you would write something like let amount paid equals 1 million minus await amount fee. But I'm not sure that it would work because when the canister is instantiate, I don't think it can wait like that. Maybe you can try. Would be interesting to know. So
also, is amount fee being called from outside? If it is not called from outside, you can just make it a private function.
No, you cannot because you have to call another canister. Well, you can make it.
Oh, I get an unexpected token error.
Yeah, you cannot do that, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, because this variable is like amount pay is declared when the canister is deployed for the first time after each upgrade as well. And yeah, basically you cannot like do stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah, that makes kind
So-
of sense.
So would you make it a private function and then call amount paid when
No, I think since this is an actor class, you can just have a constructor function, right? You can call this inside your constructor function.
Yeah, I would probably do something like that.
Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay. Yes.
Oh.
Thank you a lot. Okay. Now I get it.
I'm just trying to find some documentation just a second.
So I'm excited to see what your project's going to be. Just looking at your files on the side there.
It's an attempt at something that it's not going. No, just I tried like to make this own token like for a project, but like to buy it, you know, to like actually buy it with ICP, but it's really hard like to do this. I was expecting it to be like more, you know, simpler. So like the token works a little like an access control, so to say, like to mint something. Because like you need to add the token, you need to pay for the token. So anyway, you have like to pay.
Yeah. No, working with ICP transactions right now has been a bottleneck for the ecosystem, and there's work on what's the situation there, Seb? It's like something called the invoice canister that's supposed to make it a lot easier.
It's out there, I think, the invoice canister.
Oh, it's already out there?
Yeah. I need to check it myself because I haven't had the time.
Yeah, that's pretty recent, right? Because I think it was like even a few weeks ago, people were talking about it, but it wasn't ready.
I was looking at this documentation that I just linked. I think this should work because essentially this actor is calling its own constructor. So essentially the things that are getting passed, this should be able to be called. So if you do an await on amount fee, it should work. But maybe something else is breaking.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna try and like do this like later on when I actually, you know.
What I would suggest is create a small reproduction without all of this code. So just have one actor class inside which you're awaiting a public function, which is returning a type of async NAT. Maybe if we have time, we could do it on the call itself.
No,
Seb, do you want to try that?
I'm gonna go out and like get something to eat because I'm starving as well. But I'll try to solve it like later.
All right. Well, hey, everyone, thank you for your, sorry, were you saying something?
No, that's it. So maybe try back on your own time and post on the Discord once you have your answers.
Yeah, I will do that. Thank you a lot, Psycat.
Awesome. All right. Well, hey, thank you so much, everybody, for the time. One more Dev Mentor hour coming up, and then tomorrow we get to end this, and we can all take a nice long nap. Hope you all have a good rest of your day, and good luck on your core projects.
Thank you. Good luck, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.